And welcome to Hannity. And tonight, whatever you do, just don't look up. That's the message from your president, the Biden administration, as thick, black, toxic chemical smoke is polluting the air over East Palestine and Ohio because of a controlled chemical burn following a train derailment that they're telling us very little about. Now, today, 2 more trains derailed in South Carolina and Texas. And even more troubling news since Friday, 3 unidentified objects have been shot down after breaching U.S. and Canadian airspace. That is 4 shoot downs in 8 days, 1 over Alaska, another over the Yukon Territory in Canada, yet another one over Lake Huron near Michigan. And according to your president and government, they have zero clue where they came from. And the head of NORAD is even suggesting they could be extraterrestrial. This is what your government is telling you. Now, this all comes after a massive Chinese spy balloon went on a cross-country joyride over most of America and had an opportunity to look at America's most sensitive military and nuclear weapons sites before that F-22 downed the balloon near Myrtle Beach after it started in Canada and Idaho and Montana, then down to Missouri and Kansas, then up to Kentucky and then to the Carolinas. So what the hell is going on here? Where is your president? Why doesn't anybody have an answer? And why is President Biden downplaying the significance? He actually is out there saying, oh, it's not a major, problem for most people. It's not a major breach. Unfortunately, the most transparent administration in history. They don't want to talk about it. We didn't hear a peep yet from Biden all day. He called the lid, of course, at 4:30 in the afternoon and snap time. We did, however, get a short briefing from the Pentagon yesterday during the Super Bowl, but that didn't tell us much at all. They, again, wouldn't even rule out the possibility that these objects were extraterrestrial, in other words, space aliens. But just hours ago, the White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, thought this was all very funny. I don't find it very funny, but you decide.
I just wanted to make sure we address this from the White House. I know there have been questions and concerns about this, but there is no indication of aliens or extraterrestrial activity with these recent takedowns. Again, there is no indication of aliens or terrestrial activity with these recent takedowns. Wanted to make sure that the American people knew that, all of you knew that, and it was important for us to say that from here because we've been hearing a lot about it. I'm not.
Would you tell us?
I'm just, I loved E.T., the movie, but I'm just going to leave it there.
Actually, we will talk to somebody, a pilot that testified before Congress, that, in fact, he did see an unidentified flying object. Now, we are talking about American airspace. It was breached on 4 separate occasions in 8 days, and the White House is laughing about it. And they don't even know where the other 3 balloons, objects even came from. Where did they come from? How did they get here? Are we facing some kind of threat from China or Russia or maybe another hostile regime? And what, if anything, will the Biden administration do about this? Now, of course, the White House is unable or unwilling to answer any of those questions. They're not even keeping lawmakers and governors in the loop. For example, here's Montana Senator Steve Daines. He was on my radio show today. He's livid. The lack of communication from the Biden administration regarding the closing of Montana airspace last night and the recent shoot-downs that took place over Alaska and Canada is unacceptable. Even Canada's cowardly Prime Minister, little Justin, is more transparent. At least he's tweeting about the objects and communicating with the people of Canada. Joe Biden is totally silent. His Twitter feed is filled with brainless political lies about Republicans and Medicare and Social Security and, quote, leading the world again. And yet Joe, can't be bothered to update we, the American people, about 3 other new unidentified objects breaching American airspace, being shot down by our military, or giving us the specifics on the Chinese spy balloon that he waited 8 whole days to finally take out of the sky. Now, you might remember Joe said it was too risky. The reason he waited, it was too risky to shoot it down over the continental United States or Alaska or Canada. It was better to just let China spy on us for 8 long days. Even Chucky Schumer had a hard time defending that position. Take a look.
We got enormous intelligence information from surveilling the balloon as it went over the United States.
Didn't the Chinese get enormous intelligence as well?
Well, they could have been getting it anyway, but we have to know what they're doing, okay? And we don't know exactly, but we got a lot of that. And even more importantly, by shooting it down over water, U.S. waters, only 6 miles out from South Carolina, we're going to probably be able to piece together this whole whole surveillance balloon and know exactly what's going on. So that's a huge coup for the United States.
This program is going to.
It's a coup. He even acknowledged that they could have been getting intelligence on us. Now, keep in mind, we only know about the balloon because it was spotted by a local photographer on the ground in Montana. The White House was more than happy to keep this whole thing a secret. That is, if they even knew about the balloon before the civilian took pictures and spotted it from the ground. Now, meanwhile, the last 3 objects were shot down very quickly over land. Apparently, it was just, the first Chinese spy balloon that posed a risk to people on the ground. The more likely scenario was they flat out lied to us, used that as their excuse for their incompetence, not shooting it down for 8 days, not shooting it down immediately. So we're also learning that yet another object, likely another spy balloon from China, crashed off the coast of Hawaii 4 months ago. Again, why weren't we told? Take a look at your screen. These are lasers beaming down from a Chinese satellite over the Hawaiian Islands on January 28th. First I'm hearing about it. China knows that Joe Biden isn't willing to do a thing. They can smell his weakness a mile away. Sadly, they're correct. And Joe can't even bring himself to reprimand the Communist Party in China in public. China has moved into the Taiwan Straits tonight as we speak. And the Biden White House is telling Americans they've got to leave Russia immediately. Well, is that because his family had all these business deals, all this money going back, transactions with China and Russia? The question is, America needs to understand this. How much money did the Biden family get from our #1 geopolitical foe, China, our #2 geopolitical foe, Russia, in these business deals involving Hunter, his partners, and according to Hunter, half his income going to Pops? How much money are we talking about? Millions, billions? How much? And could it be possible that at the end of the day that this family and this president is compromised? Now, one can only imagine the intel and the dossiers that countries like Russia and China have on Hunter Biden alone. Remember that report from the Senate Homeland Security Committee detailing multiple payments from Chinese nationals to the Bidens, including that $100,000 shopping spree, other huge, massive, lucrative deals with the CCP. That includes that multi-million-dollar deal with the Chinese energy company, according to the Washington Post. Another massive deal with the Bank of China, according to the New York Post. That was the $1 billion to $1.5 billion deal with the Bank of China. So be prepared for China to make a move now on Taiwan. And I bet if anything I had right now that Biden's not going to lift a finger or do a thing to defend our ally if it happens. And by the way, don't be surprised when Putin and Russia will ramp up their hostilities in Ukraine and imprison even more Americans on bogus charges, because as we speak, Russia now has amassed an additional 500,000 troops, 1,800 tanks, 4,000 armored vehicles, 400 fighter jets, and 300 helicopters for a new invasion into Ukraine. And this could happen within the week. And meanwhile, as I said, the U.S. State Department is now ordering all American citizens right now to leave Russia immediately amid a growing threat and risk that they will be held hostage by Russia. With Biden in office, Americans around the globe are less safe, less secure, and more in the dark than ever before. It's time for the self-proclaimed champion of transparency now to step up to that podium and tell all of us what the hell is going on, if he even knows what's going on.